I'm Pip Waller. This is Being Human. This is part 2 about fascia, connective tissue. So just a few very simple things that we need to do to take care of our fascia. As I said in the last video, the first thing is to keep moving. It's really important that we keep moving, and that we keep moving really every day, or, very, very regularly, stretching and so on. I think, in the way that we grow up, we're often told to keep still. If you look at how little children are, just naturally, they sort of, often they move around a lot. They lie down in all sorts of positions. They stick their legs here and there. And we by the time we're grown up, or even actually just older children, we've been told so often to keep still that we become a bit rigid and we keep still. Actually, fidgeting probably, which is natural for most people, probably quite good for us keeping moving. So keep moving for your fascia, and think about the different kinds of movement you're doing. You might want to try some dancing, the kind of crazy dancing where you do lots of shimmying. You might want to try, maybe climbing, where you're really moving your whole body in lots of directions. And yoga, of course, of all kinds, but especially not just doing the same yoga positions over and over and over again. It's what we need to do, all of us, is think about different movement. Tai Chi, that's a beautiful one. That's very flowing and really allows a lot of movement to come into the body. So movement, that's 1 for fascia. 2 for your fascia, you've got to keep hydrated. I know quite often I'm banging on about drinking water, but that's because really a lot of us don't do enough of it unless we start thinking about it. So your fascia, your fascial body, is really, you can think of it a bit like a sponge. And if you think of when a sponge gets dry, it's kind of brittle and doesn't have quite the same movement. And then you think if you put water into it, and then you can really, you could squeeze it right out and it'll buoy back up. That's what we want to get with our fascial body. So drinking water, and you can watch the other videos that I've made about how to drink water. Get more water down you. And it doesn't happen straight away. If you are chronically low-level chronic dehydration for a long time, when you first start drinking, your fascial body certainly won't be able to absorb it. It'll take time. So you want a mixture of drinking, maybe get some body work to get the fascia moving, and doing your own moving. And you'll see that over a month or so, that's going to make quite a difference. And another simple thing before we get on to the postural tips, which are going to be in the following videos, the other simple thing is to think about your diet. And you need a diet that's going to be encouraging anti-inflammation in the body. So in our bodies, we have this process called inflammation, which we often think of as being a disease, but it's not really a disease. Inflammation, the inflammatory process, is something that the body has in order to repair itself. So let's say you bang your elbow, there's some damage there, it all swells up because there's lots of activity going there in order to repair the damage. So that activity, that's called inflammation, that's actually part of our healing process. When the healing's finished, then we have anti-inflammatory chemicals come in and calm everything down. So we've got pro-inflammatory chemicals. They're called eikonozoids, this group that I'm talking about. Pro-inflammatory ones and anti-inflammatory ones. And they should be in a good balance in the body. When we need inflammation, we want to create it. When it don't need it anymore, we want to reduce it, stop it. But the problem we've got is that the pro-inflammatory eikonozoids, they're all made, for example, from animal products, animal-based foods, and the anti-inflammatory ones, I'm simplifying this a lot, the anti-inflammatory ones come from things like fish oils, some seeds, and dark green leafy veg. So you can see straight away most of us don't have enough. Certainly the normal diet these days doesn't have enough anti-inflammatory eikonozoids. So that's what we need to do. And the other huge thing that creates inflammation in the body is sugar. So sugar has an end product in us that basically just promotes inflammation. So another reason not to eat it. So thanks for listening. This is How to Look After Your Fascia. I'm Pip Waller. This is Being Human.